Hello my dear friends, this is a PaintyKat. My name is Catherine. Today we're going to create summer landscape. Idea of this tutorial I've got from questions of my subscribers. This is a demonstration version, a real-time one with comments about color mixing, materials I'm using and techniques. You can find on my Patreon. Link on a real-time tutorial you can find on a description box. You asked me about tips and tricks, what important to remember when we're following tutorials. Interesting, isn't it? Usually, if we have a real-time one, it's looking kind of simple. You have just play video and repeat same steps. But this is not so easy as it's looking from the first sight, isn't it? First of all, of course, we still have to repeat steps and techniques with own hands, means we need a little bit of experience and we need to understand, is it a tutorial for beginners or we need a lot of experience with material and tools with brushes to complete it. Usually on my channel I'm trying my best to create tutorials that easy to follow even for beginning level in a painting. Another interesting idea here, as original art I choose today painting by Kevin Hill. On my Patreon also you can find a link following to original Kevin Hill art. And the main questions is, first of all, we have to analyze what material we have in a tutorial. When we choosing absolutely same, no questions about it, but sometimes it's not possible. For example, for me, I'm trying not to use oil at home because I have a family, I have kids, they don't like smell of oil and oil liquids at home, so I have to choose between other paints that have a similar consistency, because for example I wanna learn oil techniques. It's still possible to learn with acrylic, for example, right? So today my paints here, it's acrylic. I really like this kind of paints because also acrylic can be used as a watercolor, so for beginners I can really recommend it. You have just one kit, for example basic kit of color, and you can add extra water, go for watercolor tutorials, or you can keep a nice coverage of acrylic, or you can use a retarder, for example, and you can learn glazing, layering, underpainting, all those techniques we have in oil paintings also. Another question, it's a surface. Usually artists, they commenting what they use and about original art of this landscape, it's a canvas on board. Well, what I have to say, if I know I have to learn something, I will go for more affordable price. Big canvases stretched on a frame, kinda pricey, and if I will use it a lot in a learning process, You know, my family will not happy at all, so it's possible to go for another choice. For example, right now, look, it's a paper, but it's not just a usual one. It's texture, it's have a texture as a canvas. So surface kind of similar and still giving me ability to use similar technique and get similar final result. Also, we have some other choices, more affordable than just stretched canvas, but again, we will talk more about it in a real-time tutorial. Let's see. Right now, I already completed sky. For sky, I used similar technique, those that Kevin held demonstrating on his tutorial. It was a blending. Of course, I'm trying to pick similar colors. Here we have it, let's say, two different ways. First, it's to get absolutely same paints and titles of shades than was used in original tutorial or for original painting, but sometimes it's not possible. Imagine you want to repeat Mona Lisa. We have no Leonardo da Vinci who can command to you what color he used to create this painting, right? So you have to decide by your own what colors was used. We have to look at it, analyze color, and we have to try find it in our palette. As I know, basic starting kits of acrylic usually have a small number of paints. Sometimes beginners even not sure they picked up the right kind of paints. Maybe they will go better for watercolor or pastel, or try maybe something else. So what I can recommend: mix more. First of all, mix a lot. Some shades possible to get from the mixing. Not all of them, by the way. Some interesting shades, as in my practice, in my experience, it was a light violet. It was needed for lavender fields. I especially joined to those tutorial. It was artist who came here in my city from the France. It was a tutorial. We painted around 8 hours in one day, in one go, and in the middle of the process we found out they had no color for lavender, and I mixed it on palette. I spent so many times, so many effort on this process, but it gave me a lot of experience. Even after I repeat those painting lots of time, but you know what, I still love result from the first attempt. I just not sure I want to repeat all those crazy mixing I have done in this day. Still, it was really interesting and I learned a lot from the artist. So with a basic number of colors, we still can follow any painting we like. Another way, of course, we can get sets with a bigger number of shades. It will be just easier to follow tutorials we like. Another interesting moment, it's how we usually following tutorials. I can recommend first just watch it without any following. We can speed up video on YouTube in twice. So first, it's possible to get an idea of tutorial in general, and later when you follow you can understand techniques and some interesting important details better. Another way it's we can complete tutorial, follow it many times. It's very important because from the first try usually we missing some details of tutorial. Details can be important for final result. Also it's very interesting to go back for your first videos or your first paintings and try to repeat it again. If you're keeping your previous result, you can really well understand your progress in painting. In a real-time tutorial, we will talk also about how to choose size. If you want to follow painting you like, if it's need to be the same, if it can be smaller, and if it's a smaller or bigger, how it's affecting level of detailing. Really important question, because smaller size we have, less detailing we can create. We all know hyperrealism paintings, mostly they are really big size, giving us chance to create really nice amount of details, and it's sometimes looking awesome, but it's also requesting lots of time and work. Of course, we have more tricks, more interesting questions about following tutorials, how to get nice result. But for me, the most important is what goal we have in mind when we want to follow, let's say, for example, this video. Do we want to repeat it exactly, detail by detail? Or we want to add some unique details that we finding interesting. For example, here in a center, original art, original landscape, have a pink tree. And I'm going to change it. Yes, color gonna be the same, but I will change shape of crown. Soon, in the middle of February, we will have the most romantic, in my view of course, the most romantic day of the year. So it's a Saint Valentine Day, and I will change crown of my tree. I will go for heart shape. So color I will follow close to original art, but idea of this painting changing. And it's actually interesting question, what goal close to you? Let me know in the comments what is more important in your opinion. Some of us like to create really similar final result. That means that techniques and colors and details was understood completely. And also it's a part of learning process in art school. When I was a student, we had to copy famous paintings, and we had to use same techniques, same materials as artists used to create original art. Interesting learning process, what I can say, but kind of boring, you know, after some of attempts, like first was interesting, second was okay, but after some tries you wanna change something, really, you wanna create unique details, you wanna give maybe some paintings new vision or color. And I really like idea and I really like paintings. Followed my tutorials when I see unique details, unique you're creating by your own. You want to change some colors or shapes. Imagine this tree blue instead of pink, for example, or maybe orange, maybe rainbow colored. So many different ideas can be done based on just one tutorial. And also this way it can be interesting to repeat one tutorial more than one time. As I told you, it's very nice for experience. More we blending, for example, better final result we have after blending. On my another tutorial I demonstrated glazing process. You can find this video on my YouTube, also on my Patreon. And there we're trying glazing technique. Those one, can be tricky from the first attempt, but it's looking so gorgeous. I like it. I like when colors translucent and we can see one through another in many layers. Yes, we have to spend a bit of time, but it's worth it. Let me comment a little bit on the process right now, because you can see I created crown and it was looking really heavy a little bit, many flowers, because I want to create really well visible heart shape of crown. But when we creating well-shaped crown, we can lose lightweight vision of it. Let's think about trees in the springtime. In the springtime, trees have not a lot of leaves and they are, really tiny and light. So it's possible to see a lots of twigs, a lots of branches through the green small leaves. Same for flowers. So if we want to go for spring look, we have to return those tiny twigs and branches. We cover it with our pink crown. So I created again on top, and look right now, crown looking more lightweight. Also here you can see I'm using lots of layering, layer on top of another. I wanna create those light playing on a crown, and also I like to have an effect of many, million petals. About brushes here, all them from the sets I'm usually use. It's different shapes. It's also natural bristle brushes. I love it for crowns, and we already created lots of tutorials on our channel with it. And basically in each tutorial I'm using similar techniques. Sometimes we're taking some new, but it's mixing all the time with the techniques we already know. Soft blended sky and more detailed crown together looking more interesting than, for example, similar technique on a sky and a crown. In the end, I wanna add my own details already. I changed the shape of crown. I also added another colors, and I wanna create here small dots, floating leaves, just some of it. And also, if we have flying petals, some of them probably will follow on a road. So here also we'll have a little bit of them. Not too much. We already have well-balanced pink spots on this landscape. In a real-time tutorial, we also will talk about other questions that we have usually when we starting follow video tutorials, or we wanna create a composition or landscape based on art piece. But here I'm almost done with this painting. If you still have questions, you can ask me here on the comments. Also welcome on my Patreon and Facebook. Links you can find on a description box. There you can send me your questions through the messenger. If you wanna share to me your paintings based on my tutorials, welcome on my Facebook and Patreon, and also feel free follow me on Instagram. But please don't forget #PaintyKat. Here you can see right now my paper fixed with the tape on a board, and as soon as we painting on a paper, we have to dry our final painting really well. After drying process done, it can take about 30 minutes, depends from the layer and the amount of water we used. And let's remove tape with hot air. My painting completed. My friends, I wish you romantic St. Valentine Day. It was a PaintyKat. Bye bye.